My wife had an abortion after she found out I cheated. It all began after an after-work team building event filled with drinks and good times. Afterwards, a coworker invited 4 of us back to their place for more drinks. And somehow, I ended up sleeping with my coworker, Lucy.
Her name Lucy.
No, I mean, this is...
I love Lucy.
Reddit is always
Lucy.
This is Reddit.
All right.
The next day, I apologized to Lucy and said this was a mistake and I love my wife. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. Lucy immediately confessed to my wife and told her everything. When my wife asked me about what happened, I immediately confessed everything. She had a minimal reaction to what happened. She disappeared for a few days. I assumed she was with some friends. However, upon her return, she asked me for a divorce and asked me to move out. When I said, "What about the baby?" she then revealed that she had an abortion.
She's psychotic. Good for you, bro. I don't want to be with no woman that can just kill a baby and just hand me divorce papers.
That's when divorce. She asked for a divorce.
Either or.
Well, this one is. I actually don't even remember the first one anymore at all.
How do you
remember?
As a man or who?
How would you deal? Okay, this is their man. Okay, this is their
my first child.
Yeah, this is their first child,
and I'm married.
She's bugging.
She's 4 months pregnant.
She's getting aborted,
right? And then he does go out. He has a good time, and when he comes back, he is upfront. He says, "I'm sorry, I did do this," and she's kind of like shell shocked. She doesn't say anything, and she disappears. He's thinking like, "I'll do whatever you want." He's on his knees. He's like, "I'm so sorry. I drank too much. It didn't mean for it to happen." And yeah, she had an abortion.
Well, Lucy told the wife to begin with, though, right?
But yeah,
so he came home to that. He came home to knowing that she already knew. So he was already caught. So of course he was sorry.
Did Lucy say that?
Lucy said that Lucy immediately told the wife.
Right, but did Lucy tell him that she told the wife?
Yeah, why would he tell her? Lucy bugging.
So he didn't.
Woman
know,
would have
but he
sex
was
with a man and have
coming
loyalty
home
to his
her
girl
know
is
that
crazy to me. Like that doesn't even make sense.
You wouldn't have known.
Lucy's wild, disrespectful.
Nah, he walked in the house and he knew what was up.
No, he's not. She's wrong. Like the thing is,
wait.
It was Lucy's house. Was it Lucy's house?
No, it wasn't. It was
a retreat.
Coworker.
It was a work retreat.
it was a work retreat.
No, it started off as a team building event.
That's what they call it.
Some coworkers said, "Hey guys, let's go back to my spot. Let's have more drinks and chill."
Mm-hmm.
So the team building.
Voluntary hangout.
Yes.
So you went back to somebody's crib and y'all had more drinks, and that's how you slept with Lucy.
Well,
He's been about to fuck Lucy though.
Lucy been plotting on him.
That's why.
That's why her feelings were hurt when the next day he was like, "This was a mistake. This should never happen." She was hurt as fuck,
It was
and that's why she went back to
That's
the wife
fine.
and snitched.
No, he just loved his wife. He just wanted to have fun. That was all it was, in my opinion. I think, but however, you said what? You agree with me? Some women don't understand that, they can be sexually used for, temporary happiness and not really loved. And then that actually triggers something and makes her blow up the whole relationship that he may have at home. But irregardless, the bigger problem that I have is that now I look at it from another lens, but if my wife was so upset that she aborted our child because of my infidelity, I would be hurt, but in all honesty, I'd be like, and then she asked me for the divorce. It would just suck. It would be a terrible situation, but I would not want to opt out to be a co-parent anyways. So if she was really committed to that, honestly, I don't think, even if she could forgive me for cheating, I couldn't forgive her for how she, went about handling our first child together. And there would be no rekindling after that. Even if the divorce doesn't happen, or the divorce does happen and 5 or 10 years later, she wants to try to get things through and she realizes that that I was just being foolish at that time or whatever the case may be. And I couldn't trust her because you were willing to harm something that didn't do anything to us, as well as potentially yourself, because of a mistake that I made. Now, if she does stick through it and say, well, I'm getting a divorce with you and I'm done, probably better for that child, because that child growing up in this type of world with two parents, especially a woman who's now mad because you were cheating on her, you don't know how she would treat you as the co-parent and what that child would go through as the suffering because of the bad relationship that its parents would have. So it might have been something, a blessing in disguise. That sounds terrible.
He can't live without her.
Of course he is, because
He's just sorry.
Yeah, he's sorry.
He's just sorry.
I think there's many layers to this, and if you
This
just
is also
I think he's been
his
trying to
wife.
who hasn't?
I don't.
They work together, and they talk
I
about
love
team
that
building.
You guys are saying that he's just sorry, as if like
He said he's
niggas will
sorry.
and then you concurred.
No, I'm saying but I'm saying he's sorry he got caught.
He's so sorry.
This
He's
was
sorry.
also his wife. Like, let's not just
No man
make
wants to
it-
lose their family. Let's make
Right,
that
like,
clear.
Let's not make it seem like, oh, he's just saying that because he wants her to forgive him. Like, no, it's much more than that. That's his wife, and they were having a child together. Now, she did leave for a couple of days, I guess, to clear her head,
No,
make
that
her
was to get the abortion.
correct. But we didn't know if she directly said, I'm going to disappear because I need to get an abortion. She didn't say anything. So it's just like she could have took some time
3 days.
to think about it, yes. And then she probably got the abortion on the last day and came home after the abortion.
That's sick. If you could come home and be like not
Because if
just,
she's
like in tears after you just aborted your child and just say I want a divorce,
wherever she
I
was
realize
for the
that
3 days, that's where all her tears was at.
if she's emotionally unstable, honestly, you gotta be crazy. Because like the thing is, a baby is still a baby, and I feel like every woman who wants a baby, that whole pregnancy, and I'm not a woman, so I don't know. Maybe Marie and Yumi, you two have went through the pregnancy, and had babies. I don't know, but any woman who has, especially if this is their first baby with her husband, I'm not saying like just a random Joe on the street. It's her husband that she's having her first child with. That whole experience is like sacred to women, and I feel like even if the relationship was bad before, or even if it was good before, it can be destroyed throughout that 9 months of pregnancy that she's going through. But to, like, women, like, fall in love. I don't know. Women fall in love with something that's in their stomach that they don't even know what it is yet. It'd be a plant. And it's like, oh, my God, it's my baby. And it's like, it's not even a baby. It's a seed.
It's a bean.
It's not even a bean. It's a sperm cell, right? Like, you can't even see it.
Probably a stomach virus.
It's right? And it's like when a woman gets pregnant and she hears she's pregnant, out of nowhere, I feel like she just visualizes a whole child in her stomach, but she's only 4 or 8 weeks pregnant. It's like this shit is not even here. But
I don't even agree with what you're saying, honestly.
you think
'cause
that women care? I mean, there are some women who don't care.
I agree with everything that you said before.
I'm not saying I don't agree with women not feeling the nurturing, all that stuff about the little pee and whatever. I'm saying there are I feel like there is a large percentage of women that probably don't come out and discuss how they didn't want to be pregnant to begin with, and the fact that she left the marriage or she left for 3 days. 1, I don't know where the hell you went, right? 2, you could have had a side dude. 3, if you came back with divorce papers and you aborted the baby, you didn't want the baby. So that feeling that you're talking about right now, that all the nurture, all that stuff, she was waiting for him to mess up. She was probably looking for her out because you were going to get divorced and lose your child. You want nothing to do with this man. That's clear.
She's sick. I'd have been like, thanks.
That's a preview of what your marriage is going to look like.
Yeah, I'd have told
Or
She's a battered
maybe
woman.
she did have that nurturing feeling and just imagined going through this pregnancy with her husband, who she loves oh so much, to be a different experience, and knowing that her husband cheated on her while she was pregnant
That's a psychopath.
just
Thank you.
kind of ruined the pregnancy for her.
No,
You don't.
A
you don't
lot of women
abort a
look at
baby.
it. a lot of to Amanda's piece, what you're saying, a lot of women on Reddit were basically I think it was women, were just basically like, it's a preview of what's to come.
Him cheating?
Yeah,
like
it's also
because
for
they
men
say that
too,
a
though.
lot of abuse essentially begin when a woman becomes pregnant. So it's kind of like securing, making sure that now you have her in the hook. In terms of some of the literature, is that now that you know you've got her in the hook, now you can actually start the abuse. So some of the people on Reddit were basically like, you dodged a bullet, you did the right thing, because this probably was a preview of what was to come for the rest of the relationship.
I feel like that's so stupid. And whoever said that needs to delete their Reddit account. Like, are you serious? I mean, I'm not saying this in a way, but in a poetic way, but when a man has a baby, he is willing to, most times, right? I'm not gonna say most time. When a lot of men do have babies with their wife, I'm not saying with the random girl, with the woman that he decided to propose and marry, and it's his first baby, everything changes. She changes, he changes, they change, their relationship dynamic change, and everybody's undergoing an extreme amount of changes, and oftentimes, it causes friction in a relationship. And I really do think that it also brings them together if they were truly married with, for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Because you have procreated something that's literally looking at both of you that looks probably like both of you. And you guys are in this like state of like euphoria, right? And to say that what's happening prior to us having a family is going to happen after us having a family is like not even reality. Like, you know how some women say that they're not married, they're single until they're married? I feel like a lot of men don't feel like they're in a relationship till they become a father. When I become a father is when I feel like I'm in a relationship, in a marriage with you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You need something that's gonna really tie you to.
For a woman, the emphasis is a ring. For a man, an emphasis is a family, right? So when I see that I have a family here, it's like, whoa, everything changes. I don't want to lose this. I got to protect this. I got to try to do what I can to the best of my ability. And it sounds crazy, but this is how some men think, including myself. If I just have a woman, I'm like, okay, this is a relationship. Even if I marry her, this is my wife, but it's a relationship. It hasn't become a family. We haven't actually brought kids into this world. We're not raising a family together. So for men like myself, we don't view it the same. Now, for a woman, she might be like, I'm single, but the second I have a ring, I am no longer single. We could have been dating for 15 years, but if she don't get that ring, she's still single in her mind until that ring happens. So that grand gesture or that grand event that happens within their relationship, I think from different sexes actually makes the whole like severity of the relationship come to perspective for each of them.
Sounds like you're saying that we don't get serious until we put a baby in you.
I don't even say put a baby till you see it come out. Like,
but then if that's the case, that's ass backwards though, because this whole time she's probably expecting something more. So they're already not on the same page. So just because you put a baby in a woman doesn't mean you've practiced to be a husband.
And that's why women be trapping you guys. That's when you're going to take us serious. Let me not say us. I don't do that. But yeah, women trap guys because if that's what it takes for you to look at me seriously, for you to see me as a wife, your partner, or anything of the sort, I got to give you a baby.
And on that note, that's why she was able to get rid of it in 4 days, because she's a fucking psychopath, and she came back with divorce papers. So that train of thought that like, I'm gonna keep him.
Yep.
I'm gonna keep a whole life. The papers wasn't nothing.
I didn't.
Yep, the papers.
No. I'm sorry.
She asked for a divorce and asked him to move out. She didn't have divorce papers in her hand.
She asked for a divorce and asked him to move out after she got rid of the baby.
I think that her getting an abortion was a very impulsive decision, and she was still in her hurt. Mm-hmm. She probably will later down the line regret that.
That's still psychotic, You see how far you're willing to go because of your emotions?
She was hurt.
Very unhinged a little.
You,
A little?
like, yo, we're going to stop doing this. Like,
We're gonna
This is-
stop making this lady seem like she's psychotic.
she is psychotic.
She's psychotic.
And that's psychotic.
Oh, like I think like she was very unregulated. And
Why do we do this, Marie? Why?
Because we're being real.
No.
No,
Like
not.
calling some,
That's
like
not
just writing
real.
someone off as psycho is just not.
That's-
you guys know what a psychopath is.
Okay, then sociopath. Can we use sociopath?
Definitely not a sociopath.
Okay.
All right, what is she?
She's crazy.
She's clear.
I think she was very unregulated.
She's definitely, that makes her crazy.
Well, I think we all got a little crazy sometimes.
No.
No, don't do that.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think men could have abortions as much as women if we were able to get pregnant.
It depends on how we could have.
Would annihilate the whole population.
If you guys were able to get pregnant,
We probably would,
you
because
guys
we don't
will
trust
have
y'all.
several
We don't
abortions.
trust y'all.
You dirty rats.
You would annihilate the whole population.
Yeah. You
Yo,
guys would be absolutely disgusting.
yo, if we could have babies though, I guarantee you our babies would be better raised. I swear to God.
Dude, we would.
You know how what like single dads would be like, nah, I definitely, I let the single mom come through. Single moms be like, fuck that nigga. Nah, he cheated on you. Yeah, don't ever let. I swear to God, this shit blew my high. I gotta talk about this, right? Hot 97. They had the gurus, I think, right? The little guru segment. Shout out to Hot 97, Ebro, the morning, all y'all, whatever.
Yeah.
They had somebody call in or send an email about a situation where this girl was dating this guy for I think like a couple years, and she got pregnant. They were dating, but they weren't in a relationship, so they were sleeping around. And she got pregnant, and they were older. He already had a kid that was like 14 or something, and she had a kid around the same age. And he was already telling her that he didn't want to do any kids at this time in his life. So then throughout her pregnancy, he's been inconsistent. He has like, he'll pop in, but then he won't play the role. He won't go to the doctor's appointments, but then he'll ask how the doctor appointment went. And so what her question was at the end was, should she tell him when the baby is due? Should she invite him to the labor of the child? Because she doesn't want him there because of his inconsistency. She'd rather just have her daughter there. And for me, I was like, what is wrong with you? I don't even know. But the thing for me was like, why? If he's being inconsistent, why would you even just? Well, I had a couple different things to say. I actually tried to call them niggas, like, yo, like, come on, bro, like, I need to tell y'all. But if he's being inconsistent,
Will I have the baby?
no, why not just tell him? And you should probably expect him not to be there, right? One, if you're basing it off his patterns. Two, even if, and I speak on a more, this topic is more sensitive because I feel like that kind of was like my situation. I wasn't inconsistent, but me and my girl were not seeing eye to eye throughout her pregnancy. And because of that, but that didn't stop me from being there. You know what I'm saying? And when I was there, that kind of made everything click for me. You know what I'm saying? It helped me put everything into perspective. So I'm not saying that will be his story, but I feel like a lot of men don't get it until they have their baby in their arms. We don't feel your pregnancy. We don't feel you carrying. We don't feel the baby kicking. We don't feel the baby moving. All we do is visualize what might be in your stomach. And then when the baby comes out, that's when we can actually feel what you felt throughout your pregnancy. That's just what it is. So and then on top of that, you're going to create a battle that is, only one that's going to suffer is that baby. Because even though this man is inconsistent in being at your doctor's appointment, and although he is 100% wrong, but if you just have the baby sneakily, and then this man could grow a type of bitterness to you that will be unforgivable. And now the only thing that's going to suffer is the baby, because you wanted to put your feelings involved in your pregnancy. We got to stop taking the pregnancy as a personal thing. Men too, because the only one that's going to suffer is what comes out of it. And that's like the thing that I just can't fathom when women do that and they go through these extreme emotions because they're pregnant and they make these extreme decisions. And I do know that your hormones might not be, regulated because of all the different things that are going on in your body. But still, it does not make it okay for you to just go out and randomly get an abortion because you found out your spouse cheated on you. It doesn't make sense that you don't like what's happening within your relationship, so you just try to rob the man of the moment of his child being birthed. That's not a proper solution for anybody or conducive for the future of your co-parenting potentially or the child, or the child's life. That's just my take.
I agree. I feel like it's like a power play. I feel like it's a power play that women use because they're carrying the baby. This is just my opinion. Like, I feel like some women are like, I'm the one carrying, and you're right, you are the one carrying the baby, but that doesn't mean the baby's not leverage.
Can you say that again?
The baby should not be leveraged. That's not its purpose.
You trying to say it's our fault?
It is.
It's my fault I got a daughter?
No way, but that's how they used to. No, but that's how they used to treat women, though.
They used to, but like
used to toss women to the side if they didn't give you a
You
son.
have 2 X chromosomes.
Because technically my son was there, but your body killed him and allowed the woman in.
Boy, if you sit down.
My son, I didn't just have all X chromosomes. Like, there was a mix. Yo, you control the only thing. I'm not going to say the only thing. I can't speak for all men. But a woman that has their baby, has a man's child, and is in full custody of a man's child, you hold the thing that is most precious to that man that actually cares about being in his child's life.
That's why these parents be in and out of the courtroom, because let me snatch all that power you think you have.
Have you been to court?
She doesn't even have a kid.
What? I don't have a kid, but
Thank you.
I'm just saying the petty arguments between parents and trying to get custody, and she won't allow me to do this,
It's not.
and getting to court for every little thing.
It's not a petty argument if that is half your child. Like, that's your child. Nothing is petty. The arguments aren't petty. It's with the actions that you do that make it petty. Because if you can lay down and have my child, then I should be entitled to pick up my child and see my child and do what I'm supposed to do for my child, period.
Okay, so nothing about your child is a petty argument.
It shouldn't be.
The boyfriend of 6 months shouldn't be around your child. Is that not a petty argument? To me, that shit seems petty as fuck to me.
First of all, when you bring other people around your child, I have to trust the fact that you have some goddamn sense and you're making a wise decision for the welfare of our child. I don't get to tell you who you can and can't bring around my child. I can't. I'll never have that power.
You know how many times that we've heard over and over and over again, and I hate to say it, and I think about this, because I have a daughter, how many times that we've heard stories, countless stories of stepfathers doing things to the stepdaughters
Or the boyfriend.
or the boyfriend
Or the stepsons.
or the
Let's keep it real,
stepson.
period.
And it's like, and they do it not only to girls, they do it to boys too.
Mm-hmm.
And so me arguing about your 6-month boyfriend being around my child will never be petty. Because guess what? And I had this conversation
Don't be adding shit.
I had this
You gotta add to it.
I had this conversation with my girl too. Like, no offense, like she left. Well, I don't want to say she left, but in her church they take the toddlers to a different room, and I was like, don't you ever allow my daughter to go to a different room with no one. I don't care if it's your deacon, your pastor, your sister, your nun. I don't care who it is. Don't ever put my daughter in position that's out of your sight. And I was like, because guess what? All it takes is one situation that you can't undo for my daughter.
Facts.
You can't undo for my child. So I'm not playing that game. There's not a petty argument. It's not, whether it's 6 months of your dating, whether it's your uncle that you wanted to just leave around, and don't ever put my child in a position where harm could be done and you can't be there to stop it or regulate or not stop it, but prevent it. I'm not playing that game. And I understand what he's saying. I'm not in that position right now, right? And I hope I'm not. But if I was in that position and my girl was trying to, or my ex is trying to tell me that it doesn't matter who she brings around my child, yes, the fuck it does.